Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. So Garfield, today, again, we're talking about the heat, but we're going to talk about heat inside the buildings. And, it's how bad it gets when you walk from outside to inside a building. It's like 15 degrees warmer at least when you
Yeah.
first walk in. Isn't it crazy?
Well, and honestly, let's probably just needs to be we need to just talk about safety in general. Like this
Yeah.
is, I mean, the heat is obviously on is obviously on everybody's mind this time of year, but there's a lot of safety aspects people may not know about. Things you can correct, things you can request. Going
Hmm.
through your safety committee and putting things on the concerns logs for stuff.
So I think maybe we start off with the fans,
Yeah,
right? For the circulation. And we were talking about it, the new contract, what was it? 18,000
I think
fans
so.
should be installed.
18,000.
So, and what was the number of buildings that we saw roughly?
A quick search gave me like 5,500 something buildings.
Yeah, so that doesn't leave room for many, for many fans in it. And it's absolutely nuts. That circulation is needed. And, because there isn't, I mean, some of the newer buildings are going to have better circulation, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, even McKinney is going to be better than Dallas, right? So, but it's still bad. And it's not properly done at the buildings. And the hub workers, they suffer. They suffer. So, but so there was an issue this past week. Supervisor came up to myself, and I was in early, came up to myself and another steward, and was saying, "Oh, I'm having an issue with a worker." Okay, we go over. Does e-regs, right? And he's the only one doing e-regs. We're like, okay, we see he's sweating. Supervisor says, well, he's just leaving the area and doing whatever he wants. And okay, you said you're gonna say, but hold on a second. So we can barely find supervisors. It's they're always hiding somewhere. But if you're having a heat related issue, should you just stick around in the heat and just, okay, let me just
No,
wait? No. So
absolutely not.
he's an employee who's been there. He went to the cool zone. He went to one of the offices, and they had a problem with it. So myself and the other steward, we've been doing this a long time. So are all the fans here? Well, yeah, there's fans here. Hold up a second. Let's go look down the box line. Look, there's no fan down here on the box line. He's by himself. Well, he can blame his fellow, workers because they didn't come in. Oh,
Uh,
whoa.
that's always
So now
their
you want to
go-to.
start, yeah, you want to blame the other workers. Hey, that there are a lot of, they have option days, and it's the heat gets to them,
Yeah.
and you're not going to blame the other workers. You're not going to do that.
No.
Okay. And we said to the supervisor, first of all, you don't have a fan here. He's the only one here. You're trying to have him do everything. You're trying to tell him to go quick. He's going, he's working to the best of his ability. He's working safe. And you want him to work past that. So it's hot out, everything's going on, and you're trying to do this. And we were fuming. And we said, listen, you need to do the fans. You want to stop what you're doing right now. You want to talk about him trying to stay cool, maybe trying to stay alive. And it's unbelievable. He's got a towel over his head, a cooling towel, trying to do everything he can. And I saw he was getting frustrated, so we calmed him down first because we didn't want him to get all crazy. So we were speaking to the supervisor the full time. We're like, no, this is wrong. There's no way you're going to come to us and say, well, he's not doing his job. He's doing his job. And we don't talk about other employees. He's doing his job. He goes to his cool zone. And if he can, and he knows to say something to you, but it's been so hot and no one's been around. So supervisor, situation, clear up the situation. 15 minutes later, supervisor comes up to me. Well, yeah, you were right. We're getting a fan put in there. I said, I know we were right. The three of us, we saw it that there was no fan there. But it all started right away. They wanted to go after him. You see,
Yeah.
right away. Oh, but we don't like firing people. We don't like disciplining. Right. Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, I
It's
mean,
and that's that. I mean, that's what I tell my drivers. You know, that's what we tell the people on the preload. Like, if you need the cool zone, you go get it. If there's not a supervisor there, that's not your fault. You go and
yeah.
seek the cool zone when you need it, and you have to make that. You can't be you can't let them intimidate you about stuff like that, because this is your life. This is your health. You know, if you're feeling it, and those buildings are hot, like, especially if you're
Yeah.
like especially if you're in the trailers, if you're doing unload, or if you're loading in
Uh,
those trailers at night. Those things are hot boxes all day long. I remember unloading trailers. You know, didn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If it's August, it's 100 and some odd degrees in the backs of those trailers.
yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the members, maybe the newer ones, they're scared to say something, right? They're worried
Yeah.
about losing their job. And we go around, we speak to people, and we're like, hey, listen, you got to know your rights. You got to know, that, hey, listen, you want to go to a cool zone, you go to a cool zone. If you can get a supervisor, that's great. If not, you go to your cool zone. And, after that, you want to get find a steward, just to help you out. I mean, just, man, what they do to the part-timers, the advantage they try to
Yeah.
take of these part-timers. And
I was there.
it's,
I was one of the
yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
one of the part-timers too. Like,
we've
especially
all
when
been
you're
there.
new, you're there, you're there to work. You know, if you don't know
Yeah,
any better, whether, I was from a small center, or, we had a steward on preload, but, it was one person, couldn't get around to
yeah,
everybody. It's hard sometimes when you don't have the information, when you don't have the knowledge, especially when you're, only been with the company a few months, or maybe even a few years. But
yeah,
it's definitely hard, and it's easy for those supervisors to intimidate you if you don't know your rights.
yeah. No, I mean, it is, and every member should know um that if there's an issue like fans and stuff, you go with someone on the safety committee
Yep.
and you let them put it in a concerns log. I've
Yeah.
said this before, you know, thinking, the long game. If this goes to panel, the first thing the committee will ask is, is this on the concerns log? That's the first thing they're going to ask. If it's not, then, well, I mean, oh, well, was anything said? This, you make sure it gets on the concerns log. I can't
You got
stress that enough.
you got to go through that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And, everyone should know who's on the safety committees for their sort. It's important, we just want these things to be taken care of. We don't want the company to just, oh, we can do what we want. And, it's a simple thing, like, also like the clerks. They're allowed to have anti-fatigue mats for standing around. And that's another thing. If they're not providing that, then, you get with someone on the safety committee and have them put it on the concerns log. I
Yeah.
mean, you're standing there in the heat, I mean, it's like, God, there were so many things that I mean, the company, like, if they don't have to do it, they won't. If no one says anything, they won't. It should be things that are there to make sure that, heat related injuries don't happen, or, injuries don't happen. But no, it's like after the fact sometimes, and then they forget again.
And that would be any situation where or any position where you're kind of standing around. Would that be with like small sort, include with like mats and stuff like that too? Because they're mostly
I mean,
just.
I wouldn't, it says clerical, but listen, I try anything. I
Yeah.
put it on there I mean, you're
Yeah.
standing there.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean,
If you're doing internationals, like in the evenings,
yeah, I
at the
mean,
air sort, I know we have like a Smalls air sort that stands around and just scans small air stuff and stuff that,
yeah,
they're standing in one place most of the evenings when they're working nights. Overgoods, um,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
trying to think of what else there might be. Just any position to where you're working in the building and you spend most of your time standing in front of a computer or standing in one place. I would request, especially if it's an issue for you, I would request, that be put on the concerns log for you, and,
yeah.
see if the company will provide it. And if they don't, you could then possibly file a grievance and see if you could get one.
Absolutely. You might as well try it. I don't see anything specific. It just kind of says clerical, but so what?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Maybe they do it. Maybe you get them.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, yeah, they let's do it. Get the, BAs to push it and see what we can do. We got to try everything possible to help out, all the employees.
Getting the BAs to push it. What's that like?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's something else. That's but we gotta get the members to, come forward and then get them stronger, and really just everyone has to know their rights. And that's where, everything comes in. You tell one person, if they go through it, now they can help someone else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything. You've gone through the situation, so now you can help, someone else.
Exactly.
So I mean,
and it's important. It's important to note that you have to play the role in making sure that you're safe as a member. With using the concerns log, making sure your area is safe. Like if you're a driver and you're getting in your truck and you're doing your pre-trip over, make sure you have a dolly. Make sure that everything is on your truck that works correctly when you do your pre-trip. Do your post-trip at night so you can write things down on the DVIR so the same problem you don't have in the evening is in the morning. And if things aren't getting fixed once you're doing all that, that's when we go to the concerns log. That's when we go to the grievance process. But you also have to follow the steps getting up to it. It takes a team. We're called Teamsters for a reason. We have to be all a part of this.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's agreed. And that's, there's so many things. I mean, there are so many things, safety things that we need to hold the company accountable for. So we're all safe, even the overweight stickers and just everything. But, we really want to discuss, in terms of the heat and, the hub employees, I mean, just like anyone else, they take a beating because of the heat. And, it's management coming, going at them. And it just, everyone needs to know their rights. And if you're having issues, get with a steward. And you're allowed to get to your cool zones.
And contractually, they have to provide you with ice and water now.
Yes.
So if you don't have ice and water, if you need water, tell a supervisor. If a supervisor's not there and you need water, go get water.
Yes, absolutely. Your health is most, is the utmost importance. That's it. I mean, it's everything. So, but I'm glad we talked about this, and we'll always keep touching on these things because, safety, when you're dealing with safety, that means everyone's going to get home that day if safety is at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everyone for listening. From myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.